Welcome to a brand new edition of U-Talk. I'm your host, Paige Turner, school counselor at Noble Middle School. Our show is all about the middle school student. We leave no stone unturned. Testing, bullying, dating, stress, and so much more. Joining me each month is a seasoned panel of middle school students ready to discuss the issues and tackle the tough questions. This month, in addition to your questions, we will discuss the importance of communication and ways middle school students can be most effective at communicating with others. We will also play a game called Picture This. But first, we kick off our show with some Q&A featuring questions on a variety of topics from middle schools throughout the school system that our panel of students are ready to answer. No question is too tough, no topic is too difficult. All right, panelists, here's question number 1. I'm in the 7th grade, which is pretty exciting. However, my 14-year-old sister is in the 9th grade now, which means she's in high school. She constantly comes home ranting on about how different, dramatic, and awesome high school is. Then, when I share my experiences about 7th grade, she shrugs it off and undermines it like it's nothing. I'm kind of worried about the future. Will my stuff always be pushed to the side because my sister's high school life is more important? If so, how can I cope with it?
I have a sister, and she just started 9th grade, and then I'm in 7th grade, and so I can really, because she'll come home and she'll talk about how awesome her day was or how bad it was, and all the drama that happened, and then I'll say something, and she'll just kind of be like, oh, that's kind of cool, I guess, but she's not really caring for it, but at the same time, I know that she is because she's my sister, and it's not just being put to the side. Because I also have a brother, he's her twin, and then he kind of does the same thing, but I know that he cares too.
Have you ever spoken to them about that, about how you feel about it, or?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
I mean, they're your siblings, so it's kind of their job to seem condescending, I would assume. Don't take it personally, I think, because they probably don't mean to.
So you feel like that there's probably nothing she can do to change what her sibling is doing. It's more of how she responds and reacts to it, it sounds like you're saying. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? I mean,
I'm older than my sister, and she's in 4th grade. So, I mean, she goes to the same school that I used to go for elementary. So whenever she does something and tells me about it, I remember that. And I try to, tell her that it's, going to be something fun. So she looks forward to it.
yeah. So it sounds like you try to do the opposite of what this sister is doing and try to make sure that you're listening to what your sister's saying. And it's interesting because in a little bit we're going to be talking about communication, and this has a lot to do with communication, and even with your family, how you respond to how they act and what they say. As a suggestion, it sounds like, maybe just continue to share the experiences, and if it's something that's really upsetting, then perhaps speak to their parents. And just say, I really feel kind of belittled, and that this is, my stuff is not important, and I'd appreciate if you'd, say something. Because whatever you guys are going through, whatever stage, it's still important, Absolutely. All right, let's move on to another one. So I have this huge case of TV obsession. I have to watch it while I'm eating, doing homework, drawing, anything. I set a schedule. Okay, I'll do my homework and my responsibilities, then watch TV. It all seems so simple to do when I'm writing it down, but when I try it in real life, nothing can keep me from the temptation, and I have to turn the TV on. The only thing strong enough to pull me away from the TV is school or being with my friends, but I can't always be at school or with my friends.
It sounds like you're a human who does what humans do, which is they get attached to things. Because even if people aren't obsessed with TV, people are obsessed with social media, or people are obsessed with, some other form of something they're not supposed to be doing. It sounds like you're just procrastinating, which is what a lot of people do. So you shouldn't turn it into this huge, big deal. You should just say, I need to stop watching TV. I need to look at my priorities and what I'm doing, and know that maybe I enjoy TV, but maybe that should be the reward for these things.
And it sounds like she definitely sees that it's kind of become a bad habit, and I don't want to say addiction. She says obsession. What would you guys recommend? I mean, it could be anything, like you said, social media, your phone, being on the computer, video games. What suggestions would you have for anybody who feels like they're kind of obsessed with something like that?
Trying to multitask is a big part on trying to get away from TV obsession. For me, I've had that before with TV. What I do is I'll turn it on, and if it's like a repeat of a show, like a rerun, I'll just do my homework and I'll listen along to it. And it makes it easier, and it actually makes homework go faster because I'm working towards it. Or just, I've had some of my friends, their parents will literally take all of their electronics and sit them into a secluded room and make them do their homework.
So taking the temptation away. Yeah, absolutely. What do you guys think? Have you ever experienced that with, you know?
Yeah, like what Peyton said, it's good to like maybe leave it on while you're doing something, because it's kind of like listening to music while you're doing maybe laundry or something. I do that a lot because it just makes it go by faster, and it's just a really nice thing to do. And with your TV, it might be easier if you're trying to sleep or something, and you just need to turn it on. You can put a sleep timer on it, and so that it will shut off at one point. And then I think some TVs, they have restrictions, and they give you a certain amount of time to watch TV.
Shut it off.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it sounds like at this point that she's just, you know, kind of at her last straw with this, and perhaps what Peyton was saying, you know, maybe even just kind of taking it all away, having somebody else, because if she doesn't have enough self-control to be able to monitor that on her own, then maybe she needs some help of, you know, her parents or somebody else in her family that can help her out with that. So, all right, last question. Recently I've realized that I'm very stressed and that I'm acting older than I actually am. I can't do anything without worrying it might affect my parents or brothers. It's like I don't even care about myself being happy, I just want my family to be happy. I find it extremely hard to let go and have fun or do anything for myself, really. I feel extremely horrible every day because I can't even be a little selfish without worrying about something family related. Please help.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Because, like, that's what your parents' job is, to be in control of everything, and you have to realize that no matter what you do, you will never be able to make everything for everybody perfect, and you're just going to have to accept that and move on, because the more you try and dwell on it, the more you're going to obsess over it, and then it's going to turn into this terrible, terrible cycle, which isn't fun. So just like release some control a little bit.
How would you suggest she does that? How can she let it go?
Take some time for yourself. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Yeah. You know, and it sounds like it sounds like a lot of these responsibilities and stress she's putting on herself, not necessarily stuff that her family's putting on her. Have you guys ever experienced that where you've put a lot of pressure on yourself? How did you kind of release that pressure? If you're putting it on yourself, it's kind of hard.
Well, being humble is a little different than being crazy protective. So I think if you're really looking out for your parents, you'll look more after yourself. Because if they know that you're taking care of yourself more, they'll trust you. But if you really want to let it go, it's a good thing to find another interest. Like, YouTube is always a great thing if you obsess or relate to other people who have the same thing. It's helpful. And then it's also a distraction from making your obsessive time.
So distracting yourself, like physically as well as mentally, from other stuff that you're kind of worried about. Definitely. Well, that sounds good, guys. Thank you for your suggestions. That wraps up UTalk Q&A. If you're a middle school student with a question you'd like our panel to discuss, there are several ways to submit that question. First, you can drop the question off to your school counselor or social worker. 2, you can email it to nhcstv@gmail.com. Or 3, use good old-fashioned mail by sending your question to NHCSTV UTalk, 1802 South 15th Street, Wilmington, North Carolina, 28401. Now, coming up in our next segment, we talk about communication, and later in the show, we'll play a game.
Sounds like you could use some Van Gogurt. It's fortified with arts-rich nutrients to improve your math and reading skills. Catch!
Van Gogurt, thanks. So what's the deal with your ear?
Always with the ear, huh?
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
My cell phone number and John's cell phone number. Hey, pretty. And number of the restaurant where we're going to be. And I've left you my pager number too, just in case, because you never know. John, you have the gift?
The odds of a babysitter calling 911, 1 in 1,400.
Anything should happen, please don't hesitate.
The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 150. You know the odds of autism. Now learn the signs. Go to autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to U-Talk. As students get older, it's important to continue to cultivate their social skills, including communications. Good communication skills are necessary in life. Communication, including conflict resolution, comes into play in the workplace, in personal relationships, and in different social situations. As they quickly approach adulthood, students in middle school can benefit from exercises and activities that help to develop these essential skills. Now, panelists, a lot goes into communication. It involves listening, observing, body language, and more. How would each of you define what it means to make good eye contact?
To make good eye contact means to look someone in the eyes and maybe to like nod your head along with them and be like, oh yeah, I understand. Or you don't want to just sit there like this or not even look at them because that's just rude.
I think good eye contact is a combination of things because I mean, if you're just staring someone down, that's a little weird. So it should just, I think when people say good eye contact, they just mean be a good listener and look like you're following along with them. So like when they say something, maybe actually look like you're not dead, like have emotions.
Like you're responding and involved, yeah. Well, and what I have on here is that definitely what Lily was saying, making good eye contact is looking at other people in the eyes. And like you said, Henry, you don't want to be staring at them and, making somebody feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, when somebody's talking, if you're looking away or if you're looking at your phone or doing something else, that's not going to be, not making good eye contact for sure. And then you also have to understand too, sometimes there's some, different, cultures might look at eye contact in different ways. So just make sure you know who your audience is when you're talking to them. All right, next question. How would you define what it means to make good observations with others?
It means to like notice things about them and maybe comment them and maybe good things, not maybe, definitely good things. Like, oh, I really like your earrings and oh, I like that shirt, where'd you get it? And things like that. It's good because then they know you're listening and that they know you're paying attention to them.
So complimenting and stuff. What about when you're having a conversation with somebody? What is good to pick up with the other person, like what the other person's doing? Is it good to be talking when they're talking?
Wait until, it's your turn to talk, especially if the person is really passionate about what they're talking about. You don't want to be that person who jumps into a conversation and is really rude and laughing while other people are talking or, so you just want to definitely be like, I, understand and I'm just here to listen.
And that's great. Listening as well as knowing when to speak. And it's kind of a give and take. You don't want to monopolize a conversation and talk too much, and then you don't want to not say anything because then that might make someone else feel like you're not interested. What about how would you define what it means to use good body language?
And you can use your hands. You can nod every now and then. You can say yeah or just say something that lets them know that you're listening to them.
Yeah, absolutely. What about posture? Does that send messages to other people by the way you're standing or sitting? If we're talking to somebody and I had my hands crossed like this, what message would that send?
That's annoyed teenager circa 1998 maybe, I don't know. But definitely, sit up straight, look interested, maybe smile. But if you're like this, nobody wants to talk to you.
Right.
That's why nobody's talking to you.
Sending the vibes of don't talk to me,
but
for sure.
You don't want to sit too straight, and you don't want to sit like this and look stiff. but you also don't want to be slouched over so much, like maybe this. It's good to just be in the middle.
I think what we're getting at here is look like a normal human being. I think that's what we're trying to say.
Yeah. But there's a lot that goes into it, you know, because you're sending messages even though you're not even speaking. Your body and the way you're carrying yourself can send messages. What does it mean to be a good listener?
You can like repeat, or you can say a general idea of what they said, like repeating them, but not completely, like at the end of their sentence, or like, I guess another response to what they said, so they know that you actually paid attention to what they said.
I hear you,
Absolutely.
and I'm listening to you, and I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate that comment. That's good listening. Boom, nailed it.
There you go. What about using good volume when you talk? Is it okay to blare somebody out, like when you're talking and talking extremely loud?
Or
Or
if you're mad.
possibly that could express different emotions for sure, but just in a normal conversation, your volume, does that definitely can send can communicate with others how the volume of your voice is. Is the volume in your voice at church need to be the same as it is at a ball game?
If you're in a place that's really respectful and you know you need to be quiet, then you need to be quiet. You can't go yelling in a place, as you said, as like a church or maybe a school in the halls while classes are going on. You shouldn't be yelling or being so loud.
Yeah.
But if you're at a place where it's hard for you to hear people, then you can just be like, okay, I can be a little louder.
Yeah.
But
So, and I think that goes back to the question about being observant of where you are, who you're speaking with, and you have to kind of adapt and change your body language, your volume, your tone, eye contact. I mean, a lot goes into communication, doesn't it? Absolutely. Because you guys know that you definitely pick up vibes from other people that are nonverbal communication, for sure. So, well, thank you guys. Communication plays a big role in our lives. Communication is important to our success, relationships, and ultimately happiness in life. Now, when we come back, we're going to play a fun communications game called Picture This. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Be cool. Be cool about fire. Yeah, that's the rule. Hey, to be cool about fire safety.
The most important thing for you and your parents is to have an escape plan.
Have 2 ways out of your room or house in case one is blocked by fire. Have a meeting place outside of your house so everyone knows that no one is inside.
Practice the plan, because just having a plan is no good if you don't practice it.
Gotta be cool. Be cool about fire safety.
Welcome back to U-Talk. We are focusing on the importance of communication during this portion of the show, and we're all set to play a game called Picture This. Too often, some communications can be tricky and have hidden meanings, and to help make that point, we have 11 picture puzzles. We're going to show our panelists each puzzle for 15 seconds and ask them to solve as many puzzles as they can. Once done, we'll review the puzzles and see just what our panelists saw. We encourage you at home to join in the fun of trying to solve these picture puzzles. Okay, panelists, you ready? Here are 11 puzzles.
Oh dear.
So you guys can write down your answers.
Oh.
All right, number 2. Number 3. All right, number 8.
No. I think I might have gotten one. What?
Henry.
All right, guys, time's up. Let's see how you guys did with the picture puzzles and guess what you saw. All right. So, number 1, what did you guys get?
Third degree. I got 3rd degree.
I didn't even have time to think
I
about that.
did dropping temperature.
Very close. It was actually falling temperatures. So, I would give you credit for that, Peyton. Absolutely.
And a big X.
Okay, number 2. What did you guys get?
I didn't get it, but I know what it is now. Now looking back at it.
What is it?
What do you guys think?
Oh wait, it's different than I thought it
Okay, the answer is mixed wedding.
I had wedding.
You had wedding. You got the wedding part.
What does that mean?
Mixed wedding. Okay, number 3.
Mixed wedding. Like
I said candle in the middle of burning.
I said melting candle.
Number 3, candle in the middle of burning. No, but it was in the middle. Anybody?
I said melting candle.
Melting candle. Burning the candle at both ends. Have you heard that phrase before?
No.
Oh.
Burning the candle at both ends.
Was I close enough to get a
I
check?
don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Number 4.
I said take a chance.
I think it's either take a chance or last chance.
I said second chances.
It's actually last chance.
Oh,
Good job.
Got it wrong.
I haven't gotten
Because I was doing so well before.
Okay. Number 5.
I said big punishment.
Okay.
I said question mark.
I put harsh punishment.
Harsh punishment. What the letters? They are what kind of
Capital
letters?
punishment.
Capital punishment.
Oh, how did I not
Yeah.
even get that?
I don't know
Capital
what that is.
punishment. Number 6.
Oh, I got this one. I got this one.
I said big steps.
A thing you
or
walk
large
on.
steps.
A thing you walk. These they're like
A staircase?
Yeah, like in a hotel. Like if you don't want to take the elevator.
It is steps, but you're close, Lily. It's giant steps.
Oh.
You had big steps.
I'm putting
He
that as a
said
check.
that. He said that aloud.
Because it's synonym.
So the answer is giant steps. All right, number 7.
Fat cat.
I said
Yeah,
bold cat.
I said fat cat.
Fat cat's right.
Oh man,
What?
I changed it.
Fat cat's
I was
right.
doing that one to be stupid.
Yeah.
Even when I'm stupid, I'm smart.
Fat cat's
Check.
right.
So I got
I'm
1 out of
excited about
7.
the next
Yeah,
one.
next
Okay.
to
Repeat.
repeat. I said
Repeat.
repeat.
Repeating.
It's
Finally.
repeat. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
didn't get that one.
Good job.
I actually got that because I saw Pete.
All right. Number 9.
Inside.
In a box.
Boxed in.
I said
Or
inside.
in a box.
It actually could be one of 2 things: in box or boxed in.
Ooh, got it right just by my
Does
own
in a box
stupidity.
count?
In a box is close. Yes.
This is
I'll count that.
shocking.
Yes.
Wow.
The next one.
All right.
happy.
Number 10.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yes. That
Oh
is
man,
right.
I just
I
put
got that one
dancing
right
stars.
because
Dancing with the Stars.
I was on that show
Absolutely.
back in '92.
I liked
Yes.
11.
You guys watching?
All right.
Yeah, I did
Me and
too.
Brian Boitano.
Number 11.
Lost in Space.
Lost
Oh
in
no, I
Space.
put lost space.
Yes.
I didn't get that
See,
one.
it's Lost in Space.
I was close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said
This
lost
ain't a
space.
Sandra Bullock movie. What are we
Bullock?
doing?
So, how many did you guys get right?
I got 6
got-
out of 11.
6 out of 11. Awesome.
Yeah,
I got
6
3 out of 11.
3 out of 11.
I got 6.
By my own
6.
stupidity.
Good. Johnny?
Got one.
Got 1. That's okay.
But I was close with like 3 of them.
That's okay. So, what did you guys kind of learn or pick up from this in terms of communication?
It's hard.
It seems
Yeah.
literal, like literally.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things I think is, all of you guys were looking at the same picture, and sometimes you got the same answer, but sometimes you kind of perceived and looked at it differently, right? So it's just important that you know that people can pick up on how you communicate to others differently. And also, you may think you're being completely obvious and completely, like you were saying, literal, but somebody else may not see that. You know?
I think we're not playing this game next time.
Yeah. So, and some of this probably too was you guys might not have been familiar with some of those phrases. If I were playing, I might know some of those a little bit more just because I'm a little bit older. So who knows? But anyway, so good job, guys. I appreciate it, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit about communication. We hope you have enjoyed this edition of UTalk. If you missed any part of this program, then check us out online at www.nhcs.net and click on the video library link found on the school system's webpage. I'm Paige Turner. On behalf of the entire UTalk panel, thanks for watching. We hope you'll submit questions to our show and tune in again next month for an all-new episode of UTalk.